how to get a girl's number and how not to get a girl's number. I'm going to show a little clip of a girl complaining about how a guy tried to get her number on the train. I'm going to analyze it and then give my take on it, tell you guys what I think he should have done instead. And I think this is a good lesson for everybody out there. I'm also going to give a little bit more of a better strategy on how to go about this. Before we kick it off, my book is now complete. It is officially complete, and it is in the description, and it is in the links. It's in the about section, everything. It is now live. Unfortunately, it's not available in some countries right now. So I'm about to make it a Kindle and ebook as well. But until that happens, it's up and it's ready to go. So let's have a look at this clip. So obviously she's hot. So what happened?
So I was just sitting on the train, and then some guy came up to me, and he was just talking to me. I was just being nice, whatever. And then he goes to get off, and he was like, "So, what do you think about us two having a drink sometime or something?" And I was like, "Oh, sorry, I have a boyfriend, but you know." And then before I could finish, he's like, "Oh, that'd be right, you fucking putrid slut, you fucking dirty slut," all this stuff. And I was like, what?
That's someone that needs to read the book No More Mr. Nice Guy. So it was more like a friendly conversation.
No, and then,
just a friendly conversation that he's
yeah,
give me your number.
Yeah.
So what he needed to do was have more of a smoother little, transition into the number.
It wasn't even that. Just sorry, if I have a boyfriend, I'm not the fucking slut. He's like, "You probably cheat on your boyfriend, you fucking slut." I'm like, where is this coming on? I just made up the boyfriend to get rid of you, bro.
This guy needs a boot camp. Now, firstly, she is quite smoking hot, isn't she? And she was catching the train. She was going to meet her friends in the CBD. And when I and my friend met her, she was going to go out and get some cocktails, and she was bubbly and happy and ready to mingle with people. Now, the first thing I'd like to address is, okay, well, she was abused. And I am a proponent of what I would deem to be the sustainability of game, if that makes any sense to you guys out there. I like indirect. I think what we need to do is not be ruining it for everybody else. And so luckily this didn't make her more reserved. She's an outgoing type of a girl. But the issue here is that when you abuse people in the street, when you jump in front of them, yad stop them, when you put a lot of pressure on women in the street, and you do this, you ruin it for everybody, because your game sucks, firstly. And secondly, when you do that to a girl, she's less likely to want to engage in a conversation with the next guy that comes along. Just because your game sucks and you don't know what you're doing, you do not have the right to ruin it for the rest of us. And I dare say there's been many times where I have met a girl and she has told me a story about a guy that she met, and he did this aggressive first approach, and he kind of traumatized her, and so therefore she doesn't trust me, not based on what I've done, but based on her previous experience. So what we need to do, well, what I would like to do, and this is partly the movement that I'm trying to create here, is the sustainability of what you're doing. So let's move on a little bit more. So the guy gets on the train, he sees a gorgeous girl, and she's bubbly, so he says hello. They have a nice... from what I could understand, it was just a nice, friendly, indirect conversation. So up until that stage, he was good. But what he did was he didn't transition into the number well enough. He didn't just drop hints like, "Oh, what are you guys doing tonight? Where are you going?" She probably would have told him that she was going out to cocktails with her friends. In fact, after me and my friend talking to her just for a couple minutes, she invited us out to go drink with her and her friends. And this guy on the train, he blew that. Why? Obviously doesn't know what he's doing. So then he obviously just said, "Oh, let's go for a drink sometime." She goes to get off, and then he starts abusing her. Now, there's two things here. Firstly, when you're on a train and you meet a girl on a train, first question is, when are you getting off? I'm assuming there was a bit of a time constraint and he was under pressure because she was going to get off, and that's why he's like, okay, well, let's go for a drink sometime, give me your number. And he's like, oh, fuck, and then started abusing her, and she obviously got off the next train stop. So I'm assuming, I obviously wasn't there, but I'm assuming that is what happened. So when you meet a girl on the train, the first question is, when are you getting off? How many stops? And then you gauge how much time you have, and then you start embedding, oh, maybe we should go for a drink. What type of drinks do you like? Oh, what do you try to make it a little bit more, speed it up a little bit more, and know that there is a time constraint instead of panicking when she's about to jump off. Secondly, if a girl tells you that she has a boyfriend, you need to just take that, whether she really does have a boyfriend or not. I've heard guys many times say, "Oh, girls are lying to me because they're lying to me about having a boyfriend, and I don't believe them." And so therefore, what I do is I say, "What's his name? How long you been together? How old is he? What does he do for work?" And they do that because they want to find out whether she really does have a boyfriend. But that's beside the point. The point is she wants to get rid of you. So what you do is you can either just play it off as lightheartedly and move on. The problem here is there's a fear here that she is less likely if you abuse a girl in the street because she doesn't give you her number after speaking to her for a few minutes, because you really just don't know what you're doing, which is totally understandable. Maybe you should read my book. Maybe you should get some coaching, but if a girl's been abused, she's probably less likely to be friendly with the next guy, because if she's friendly with him and has a conversation, just a indirect kind of conversation, easygoing conversation, there's probably a point where he might, pull that on her again and say, let's go for a drink, and then start abusing her. And that's the last thing she wants to do. So maybe next time the girl's out, she won't want to speak to anyone. And that makes meeting new girls anywhere in society more difficult for people who actually are well-adjusted human beings and are not insane, scumbags like that. And this is another issue with pickup in general, is that you have guys out there teaching bad strategies. And I dare say there's a lot of guys out there teaching this type of aggressive type of stance, wear a leather jacket, be a bad boy. What does a bad boy do? He tells you to piss off and abuses you and calls you these awful names when you reject him. That's what a bad boy does, but a guy with real game doesn't do that. So I thought I'd bring that to your guys' attention. There's a lot to unpack there, and because I was indirect, I was friendly, she invited us out for cocktails afterwards. Obviously she was going with her friends, and I was with my friend. We had other things to do. We were going to go meet other girls, so there was no use hanging out with her longer and going out with her friends. I felt like that would have been a waste of time. Another issue is that this guy, if he was friendly to her and said, oh, look, I understand you got a boyfriend, maybe the three of us can hang out sometime. She has, from my understanding, a lot of beautiful friends. And if you befriend her, you friend zone yourself, there's a good chance she might introduce you to her friends. And you saw the girl in the video. That type of girl is the type of girl who's a connector. She's a connector. She's not a dead end. She's the type of girl that go, oh, I've got some friends. I know this other girl. Maybe I can try hook you guys up. This is the type of friendly, open type of girl that you want in your life. And you don't have to be dating her or sleeping with her or anything. You can have her as a friend. So I feel like the guy abusing her on the street, on the train, made a huge mistake, and he's ruining it for the rest of us. And that's what I don't want you guys to be doing, because that is an awful way to go about it.
What's up? Do you want to see examples of the Game Global coaches running effective day game? Well, navigate yourself to gameglobal.net/daygame for a free video.